Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, we're going to build a summarizer app using Streamlit for the UI. We're going to continue using LangChain so we can continue learning about the framework. This time we're going to use a bunch of different components. We're going to use text loaders, so 3 types of text loader. We're going to use, or file loaders. We're going to use text splitter. We're going to build multiple chains, multiple prompt templates, and I'm probably forgetting something else that we're going to use, but we're going to be using also OpenAI and Groq, so you can pick your favorite, or you can use anything else that you want. So the application is basically going to allow a user to upload a file. Now this file could be a PDF file, a CSV file, or a text file. So that's why we're going to use 3 different document loaders. Now when the file gets uploaded and with Python inside of our app, we're going to use LangChain to create chunks of the file. So we're using this strategy in order to stay in the context window of our LLMs. So we don't want to go over the specific amount of tokens that we can send to the model. So now if we use that strategy, we don't really care about how big this PDF file is because we're going to create multiple chunks. And we're going to grab each chunk and we're going to summarize the chunk. So after we create the chunks, we're going to grab each one of these. We're going to create summaries of each one of these. And then we're going to create a final summary, which is going to take all the small summaries and create one final summary in there. Now, this application is going to involve multiple components from LangChain that we can use for other applications later on, including building our own agents in the future. Now, in order to get started, you need to have Python, and you can download Python at python.org if you don't have it. I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code, and you can download it for free here, or you can use your favorite IDE as well. So in order to get started, we are going to go into, let's put this here to the side. And I'm just going to create a folder on my desktop. You can create this folder any way you want. And we're going to call it Summarizer app. And then I'm going to open up this folder with Visual Studio Code. You can open it Visual Studio Code or your favorite IDE. Now, if you're using Visual Studio Code, you can also look for the Python extension, which is going to help you work with Python a lot better. So make sure you search for Python in the extension tab and download the Python extension from Microsoft here. Now that we have that ready, we're going to go into our file and we're going to start adding all of the dependencies that we need so we can create our virtual environment as well. So let me just put this side by side here. And we're going to go into, let's go to the LangChain documentation. I just want to show you the dependencies in here somewhere, one of these tabs in here. So we're going to, the way LangChain is organized, they have like 4 different packages, and they have LangChain Community, LangChain, and LangChain Core. So this one depends on this one, and this one depends on this one here. So we're going to install all 3 of these in order to grab everything we need for building this application. So in our Visual Studio Code now, we're going to create a file. We're going to call this file requirements.txt. Requirements. And here we're going to list all the dependencies that we need. So we're going to be using LangChain, LangChain _core. We're going to be using not underscore but -core, LangChain -community. And we're also going to need PyPDF for working with the PDF loader. And we're also going to need, let's put up here, our LangChain, LangChain underscore Groq. And also we're going to install, copy that down, LangChain OpenAI. Now, ChatGroq is completely free to get started. OpenAI, you will need to set up your billing. So I'm going to use both, but it's up to you if you just want to use Groq to keep it free, or OpenAI if you already have an API key for OpenAI, you can use that one as well. And I keep doing underscore here, but it's not underscore, it's just dashes in here. So we got LangChain, LangChain Core, LangChain Community, LangChain Groq, and OpenAI. And finally down here, let's do .env or Python-env. All right, so these are all the dependencies that we're going to need. Now we can close this up and we're going to create a new virtual environment. So in your keyboard, you can press Control-Shift-P to bring up this palette. And in here, you can search for Python create environment and you can select it there. And then we're going to select venv to create that virtual environment and pick your latest Python version here. And then we can select this requirements.txt so we can install all the dependencies right away. Now this is going to take a minute or two to download everything and set up the virtual environment. So I'm going to pause here and continue when this is finished. All right, so now that folder has been created here, .venv. And now we're ready to continue with the application. Now let's create a app.py so we can build the application in here. Now the first thing we're going to do is to import, oops, I forgot about a package, a really important package. So let's go down here and start install Streamlit. I completely forgot about it. And let's open a new terminal by clicking here, terminal, new terminal. And now inside of the terminal, we can execute this file one more time without having to create a new virtual environment. So let's wait for the terminal to load up. And once we're here, we can do pip install -r and then requirements.txt to make sure it goes down the list again. And if pip install doesn't work, you can try pip3 install because sometimes it's either pip or pip3. So now this is going to install Streamlit as well, and we're going to be ready to go. Just give it another second here. And there we go. Now we're good. Now let's go and import Streamlit as st. And let's build a little bit of the UI just to see if everything is working fine. So with Streamlit, you have all these different components that you can use to build your UI. So if it's the first time you've seen this, you can go to doc.streamlit.io/developer/API-reference. And then here you have all the different components that you can use to show text element, to write, like to just write text, inputs, layouts. You have every single component you need in there. So this is going to allow us to build this quick prototype so we can even deploy and share with anyone we want. Here we're going to do st.title. And we're just going to say summarizer app. Go ahead and save that. And we're going to go to the terminal and type Streamlit run app.py. And we're going to wait for the server to start running. There we go. That should open a page so we can see the, in here, we see the app. It says no module Streamlit. Okay, Streamlit, my bad. All right, there we go. And now click where it says always rerun. If you make the same mistake I did there, there's a button maybe right under my image there. Click there, and so it can always kind of like reload the page for you. And now we can see the app has been loaded. Now let's put a little divider here, st.divider. In here, there you go. And let's do a little bit of markdown text in here, so we can say in here, we're just gonna say star summarizing let's do summarizing your documents. Like so, and then let's just do a, let's keep it here. Let's say, yeah, let's keep it there. Let's save and make sure this gets reloaded. So let's just have this not map. Oh my God, what is going on? Markdown. Autocomplete is not helping me, or I'm going a little bit too fast. Cool. Now we're good. Now let's work with building just the file uploader that we're gonna need for the user to upload the file. So here we're gonna say upload file, and we're going to create a variable uploaded underscore file that is going to be equals to st.file uploader, and then we can say upload a text, PDF, or CSV file. And now as the second argument, we're going to pass the types that we're going to accept. So here we're going to say type, and then in a list we're going to say txt, comma, PDF, comma, CSV. There we go. Cool. So now we can see we have those three types in there. We also have it in this text in here for the users to click on browse and upload the file. Now we're going to go right below that in here, and we're going to handle the upload of the file. Here's we're just showing the UI, and whenever the user loads the file, we're going to have it in this variable. So we're going to check if uploader file is not none, so that we do have something that was uploaded. We're going to use a with st to show a spinner, so that spinner to show the user that we are processing something. So we're going to say processing in here, and we're going to do colon, go here, and we're going to put a try in here, and then we're going to, let's just print some information about the file. So let's say print, we're going to say file, comma, and we're going to say uploaded file. Next one, we're going to say file type, and we're going to do uploader file type, so we can see that information there. Here we're going to put a accept as e, then we'll print in here, so we can take a look at this. All right, so let's do a quick test here. So in the UI, we're gonna click on Browse Files, and we're gonna select a any text file that you have. So I have this intro to AI, which is a text document, and I'm gonna double click on that. And at the bottom, we see that we have the type. So file type is text/plain, and then you have the file temporarily path where it is uploaded in here. So you have like the URL and some other information in here, some metadata in there. So with this, let's go here. We're going to load up the file. So we're gonna go down here and we're gonna store the file path inside of a variable. So let's say temp underscore file underscore path. We're just gonna set that equals to the uploaded file dot name. That's gonna give us the file path in here. So the name for basically the file. And then we're going to, we can print it too, so we can see it in there for debugging purposes. And then we can do temp path. And once we have the file path, we're going to upload it into pretty much into memory, so we can actually read it and get the data out of the file. Because right now we're just basically working with the Streamlit file uploader, but now we need to do the Python read file. So let's say save uploaded file in here. So we're gonna say, let's say with open, and we're gonna pass the temp file path, and we're gonna pass write in binary here. We're gonna say as f for file, so we can load it up in here. We're gonna do f dot write, and then we're gonna pass uploaded file dot get buffer. So make sure we got all that raw data in there. Now inside of the try, but outside of the with open, because it's already open. We're already writing the file to memory in here. So we have that file uploaded. We're gonna see it in here later when we try it. We're gonna check now what type of loader we're gonna need to use by checking the type of file that it is. So we're gonna check if uploaded uploaded file, come on, that type is equals to the text plain that we saw earlier. So we're gonna say text dash plain. Here we're gonna need to do a text uploader. We're gonna use a text uploader in here. Then we're gonna check a else if. We're also gonna check if uploaded file dot type is equals to the next type is gonna be text dash CSV. And if that's true, we're going to use a CSV loader. And then else if the uploaded file dot type is equals to application /PDF. We're going to use a PDF loader. So PDF loader in here. Else, if we don't match any of those cases, we can basically say, we can, let's show the user a error. Let's say st.error. And we're gonna tell the user that the file type is not support it. And we're going to use the sd.stop so we don't continue doing anything else from here if the file type is not supported. Now we got 3 red squiggly lines in here because we need to fill in these comments in here. So for the uploading, for the text uploader, CSV uploader, and PDF uploader, we're going to use LangChain for that. And we're going to bring in, so from LangChain community dot document loaders, we're going to import a text loader, a PDF, PyPDF loader, which is the one we install separately also, because we need that dependency that we install here to work with that specific uploader, and then the CSV loader. So the only one that needs like that extra dependency is the PDF uploader here. So now we got the 3 uploaders that we need in here. So if is a text file, we're going to create a loader variable, and we're going to set that to text loader. And here, all we need to do is pass the temp file path, the temporary file path here. So I'm just going to copy that, pass it in here. And if it's a CSV loader, or if it's a CSV file, we're going to say loader would be a CSV loader, and we're going to pass the temp file path in there. Else if loader, if it's a PDF, we're going to do py PDF loader and pass the path to this one. All right, let's see what's next. So let's try it out down here after we check all of that. So here, basically, let's put a little comment here. Let's say here we create document loader, depending on the file type. Down here, we're going to let's load the document. So we just need to say doc equals loader dot load. And we just need to call that method, and now we can print the document here. Cool. Let's go here. We create the document. So, or we load up. Yeah, here we create the document, and we're gonna see what the document looks like in LangChain. So let's bring this up here, and it's already here. We can see it in here. We see we have this document object here, which contains some metadata. So the source is intro to genai.txt, and then the content of the page starts here all the way down to the bottom. So as you can see, this is only one single document. Everything is loaded into one document object in here. And right now, this text document is not that big, but what happens if we have a really large document and then we try to send that to our LLM and it's too large for the context window? Then we're going to get an error, and we're going to have to tell the user this file is too big. You have to kind of like cut it down, but we don't want to do that. That's bad user experience. So let's do it ourselves. The next step will be to grab this document and then split it into different chunks. So we're going to use a text splitter in order to do that. So we're going to import the text splitter from a LangChain. So at the top, we're going to go and say from LangChain dot text splitter. We're going to import the character text splitter. And this text splitter here, let me show you the documentation really quick. So the text splitter is, we got the document loaders in here, which I forgot to show you. So document loaders, you have in LangChain, you have all this type of document loaders. You have everything you probably can think of. You have the CSV loader here, which you can read more, see what else you can do. And then if you keep looking here, I'm sure you're going to find the PDF and the text loader as well. That should all be here. But then we have the splitters. So the text splitters also, we have by characters, we have the character text splitter and the recursive character text splitter. You can use either or. They split the text that looks, they will look at the characters and will split it by the amount that you pass or by a separator, which is optional. So we're going to use this one for this app because that is good enough. The other one, we'll probably use it for another app later on. And we're going to already import that character text splitter. Let's go back to the app. And down here, right after we have this, we can have our text underscore splitter. We're going to set that equals to character text splitter. And to the character text splitter, all we need to pass is what's the size of the chunks we want to create. So we're going to need to pass a chunk underscore size. And we're going to set a 1000 chunk size and a chunk underscore overlap of 100 characters. Oops. So the overlap is how much it can basically go back from those 1000 characters, so it can kind of like keep the context for the next chunk. These values, you got to play around with these values to see if that overlap is good enough to maintain the content or the context of the text that we're summarizing. So this is a pretty good start in here of 1000 chunk size and an overlap of 100. But if you find that the summaries needs maybe a little bit more overlap, you can play around with this number here. So this is our text splitter. So text splitter. Now we need to split this document that was loaded. Remember that document could be really, really long. If it's a PDF, it could be many pages long. So here we're going to create our chunks. So we're going to say document chunks. We're going to say chunks equals, and we're going to use the text splitter and then that split documents, and we're going to pass the doc here, and then we're going to print the chunks in here. And now if we take a look at this here, just to verify that we're doing it right, we have one document here, and then it's going to go text content, it's going to go here, here. I think, let me see, where is it? This is, oh no, it's down here. Document, there we go. So it starts here. So this is one document, right, with 1000 characters in there. Here's another document. And to find, so this one is how does generative AI, blah, blah, blah. Is this one more around here? Because I see the source here. There we go. It's all the way here. There's another document. So hard to read. But now we separating the big file into separate chunks. Now you can see in here how much text is grabbing, but basically the model, you have to test it out to see how well it is going to summarize these chunks. And if you find that you need to play around with the overlap, you can do that in there. So now we have a list of multiple chunks. As we can see here, there's another document here, and they're all just separate document objects. Each chunk is just one single document now. So now that we have that, we are pretty much good to start summarizing this. And then let's see what else we can do here. So this is the width. So we try to do all of that. And if we're successful here, we can say st.success. And we can say file uploaded, or file, we can just say file uploader, even though we did more than that. Let me see, this is here. It's not there. We want to keep it with the, let me see here, that's the one. Oh, I gotta put this down here right after this is what I want to do. There you go, we can see it right there. So right now we successfully uploaded the document right into memory. We have the file probably saved into the hard drive of our server here. And then we load up the file. We create the chunks with character text splitter. And now we're ready to summarize each chunk. All right, so here we're gonna need to bring in a .env file, .env, and here we're going to need our environment variables for Groq and OpenAI. So we're gonna do Groq underscore API underscore key equals, and you're gonna paste your API key from Groq there. And we're gonna do also, I'm gonna do OpenAI underscore API key. So you can pick Groq or OpenAI. I'm gonna do both so you can just follow along easily if you're using the free one or the paid OpenAI API key. So now it's time to go over to the playground. So you can go to console.groq.com/playground, log in, get your API key in here, and you're gonna paste it in here. Same thing for OpenAI. You can go to the platform.openai.com/playground, and you need to go to like your dashboard, and then you can select your API keys in here somewhere. Right here, API keys in there. So I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna copy my 2 API keys in here, and then I'm going to continue. Okay, oops, what am I doing? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so now let's go back to the app. Already copied my 2 API keys. So we are going to now load up, let's see if we can load up the environment variables first. Just make sure everything is fine. So we're going to from .env import load.env, and we're going to call that function here load env. That should load up the environment variables that we just created for the API keys. Now we are going to import the clients for Groq. So let's say from LangChain Groq import ChatPromptTemplate, and from LangChain OpenAI, we're going to import Chat OpenAI. Cool. So we are also going to need to create a chat prompt template, and we're also going to need to parse the output from the model. So right away up here, I also want to import from LangChain core.prompts. I want to import my chat prompt template. And then we're going to also import from LangChain core. We're going to do that output parsers, and we want to import the StringOutput Parser. So this is going to allow us to create a chat prompt template, which we're going to reuse to summarize the chunks. So we're going to reuse, using that template, we're going to create a template that is going to be reusable to execute the same prompt for each chunk. And to get the output super easy, we're going to use the StringOutput Parser, so we can just get the output of the model without having to go into the object ourselves and do .chat, .completion, square bracket 0, all of that. We're just going to use this and get the output we want right away. Cool. So let's see how we can create a chain that is going to kind of like combine these components together, because these three components here, they work together, right? This is the prompt template. We're gonna have the prompt, and the prompt is just gonna be the instructions for the model, and then we're gonna send also the document or the chunks with this prompt, and we're gonna send it to ChatGroq or to Chat OpenAI. And then the output from the model, we want to parse it using the StringOutput Parser. So let's just see how a chain is created and how we can use it for anything we want, basically. And then we're going to use it with our summarizing step that we need to do. So let's just do it. Let's do it up here. Let's see. No, we can do it up here, down here. So let's create a LLM variable, and then we're going to set that equals to, I'm going to start with ChatGroq because it's the free one, and you don't have to use the OpenAI, that is optional, but basically the same steps, but I'll show you both anyways. So if we call the ChatGroq class here, we can just use it right now. We don't need to, we can pass the model we want to use. And if you look into ChatGroq, you have all the different models you can use here that are available for you to use. But I think the default would be one of the Llama versions that they have in here. But you can pass any of these names to be used for example, if we pass, let's make sure this one is selected, and then say model equals, and in quotes, we can say mixed trial here, dash A X 7B dash 32 76A, right? These model names are insane. But basically, you can try it out, different models, see how good they are, and if you do your research, pick the best one for the application, and that's about it. That's all you need to do in here. Now for the OpenAI one, you can do the same thing, but instead of ChatGroq, we're gonna do Chat OpenAI, and instead of this models, we just need to pass a GPT model, which could be GPT-40 -mini or any other one that you want to use, and you can use this here if you want to use OpenAI. So I'm going to comment this one out for now, but feel free to use whichever you want to use and whichever model you want to try it out first. Now this is the LLM, this is the model. Now we're also going to need to our parser. So let's just say parser equals str output parser, and that's it. We just need to initialize it there. And let's create a prompt template just so we can see how it works. And we're gonna say ChatPromptTemplate dot from template from underscore template, so we can create a template. And we're just going to use a simple prompt just to see how it works. So summarize the following document. Right, so this is our simple prompt right now. And then the nice thing is that now that you have this template, you're always going to use this prompt and you can pass any documents you want in here. So in curly brackets here, we can create a variable called document in here. And when we invoke this prompt template, we can pass the argument to this variable here, to that parameter placeholder that we're creating in here. So it's always going to say summarize the following document, and we're going to pass whatever document the user uploaded. So in order to kind of like combine all these three here, we can create a chain. And whoops, what happened here? Chain, we can say chain equals. So the order that we want to run this is to first have our prompt template, right? That's the initial component that we're gonna need. So we can we can have the prompt and the document, and then the output of that, we're gonna pipe it using this pipe that is the key right on top of your enter key. We're going to pipe it into the LLM, and the output of the LLM, we're going to pass it to the parser. Now we have this chain variable that is combining all three of these components into one. So we can now say chain dot invoke, and then here we just need to pass a object or a dictionary with the keys of the variables that we're creating here. So for the document here, for document, I want to pass the uploader file. So we have the file that was uploaded. So we could do, let's see, down here. Let's do, we have the document here. So just for a quick test, we could do, let's bring up all of these stuff from here. Let's just move it up before the upload. So right after the uploader UI section there, let's just place it up here. And then we're going to bring this chain that we're creating. So nothing at the bottom for now. And from the chain, we're going to go in here, and we're going to have the document here, right? So this is the document. So we can already pass the document to the LLM down here. And then we could say results equals, and then we're going to invoke the chain. So chain.invoke, we're going to pass this doc in here. So it can go into the template. So this document that was uploaded is going to go into the variable template that's right here. So we basically just injected that document here, and we're going to see the results. So let's do print results in here. Let's just comment this out for now. All this in here, just so we can try this out. And remember, this is a chain. This is already these three components combined. The prompt template is going to pass the template to the LLM with the document already in there. Then the result of the LLM is going to be passed to the parser, and we should get the completion text right away. So let's save it, and let's see, go back to the app. And if I scroll all the way down, let's see in here. Let's go and put a result here, very big, so we can see it. And also, let's take this off and let's refresh the app. And then let's go into browse files, grab the text file again, it gets loaded up. And down here, if we go all the way down, we could see the results here. And then you have the output from the model here. So generative AI is a form of artificial intelligence that creates new content based on the patterns learned from large data sets. And this is your summary of the file that we uploaded. So right now we're just sending the whole entire document right in here. But this is not the best thing to do, because what if that file is huge and it breaks our context window, right? It's larger than the context window. So what we're going to do, we're going to, you can delete this or comment it out if you want to keep it there and try it out again. And then we're going to bring this in here back. And let me just go in here. And then what we're going to do is, let's see. We have this chain here. We can keep the chain there if you want to continue trying some stuff out for testing. So let's keep all of this here. This is uploading the file, parsing, creating the chunks. And then now that we have the chunks, we need to now, we need to start summarizing each one of these chunks in here. So that's our next step. So let's have a button down here. So here we're gonna do summarize. I'm sure this is all the way at the end. Summarize chunks in here. So let's do a if st.button is pressed. So we can show a button and check if it's pressed. We can just say summarize and show the button. Let's just do pass in here, just so we can, I need to click on always run at the top right again here, just to see that everything is okay. We can see the button there. Cool. So our first step is to summarize the chunks. So summarize chunks. Let's just say summarize here. So summarize chunks, we're going to, let's show a spinner again. So with st-spinner, and we're going to, let's say summarizing chunks. So we can tell the user, give the user some feedback of what we're doing. Let's have a, let's see, let's have a try. And then accept, exception as E, print E for now. And let's say in here, we're going to loop over the chunks that we have here, and we're going to summarize each one of those chunks. So we're going to say for chunk in chunks. We're going to go in here and we're going to, let's say, we need to create a chat prompt template for the summarizing of the chunks. So let's say chunk underscore prompt or prompt template. That's pretty long. Let's just keep it as prompt in here. So we're going to use the chat prompt template dot prompt template. And here we're going to pass a template here. So for the summarizing view, I have a longer string here. So you can work on the prompt and test it out, but I have one already that we can use here. So let's go here and paste it. You can pause it and type this out. So we're going to say, you are a highly skilled AI model tasked with summarizing text. Please summarize the following chunk of text in a concise manner, highlighting the most critical information. Do not omit any keys. We put two separate lines, two empty lines, so we can show the document right after those two lines. So this is going to be the template or the prompt that we're going to use to summarize each chunk. So let's create right after that. So here, prompt down here, we're going to do the chain for this one. So we can just have a chain here. And let's say chunk underscore chains, we can have a different one from the one up here. So you can keep this one here. So, and we're going to set that equals to the chunk prompt that we define here, right? Because it's a brand new prompt. Then pipe it to the LLM, and then pipe it to the parser. Cool. So now we're going to call the chunk chain that invoke, just like we did earlier with the other chain. And we want to pass the dictionary here, and then we're going to say document is going to be the chunk. Right, remember that chunk, each chunk is kind of like a document or a chunk of the bigger document, and we're going to send that over. Now we're going to get back a response, and remember we are looping over this, so we're going to grab the response and we're going to store it. Let's just store it up here. Let's do a chunk underscore summaries list, so we can append each chunk, and let's say chunk summaries dot append, and then we're going to append the, let's see, we are invoking the chain, so let's do here, let's do chunk underscore summary equals to invoking the chunk chain, passing the document and getting the output back. So we're going to get the result here, and we're going to append it to the chunk summaries. Okay, so let's see in here. That's fine. This is all we need to do here. So basically we have a loop that is going to loop over the chunks. It's going to grab each chunk. We have our prompt ready in here. We create the chain so we can combine the three components in here. Now when we invoke the chain, we pass the document or the chunk, right? And then when we get the results, remember we get the result just the text from the parser, and we can just append it to the summaries here. Now after the for loop, we can do a print of the chunk summaries so we can take a look at it. Let's see, what do we have here? And let's see. This one is a document. That's going to be hard to read. Let's have in here, let's say chunks, summaries. Try to take another look at this. In here, we have document, that's not it. Let's give it another second, another minute here, because these are the chunks that we have. And what do we have here? Oh, I forgot. We need to click summarize. This is. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, so let's click summarize and let's see here, because all we see is the chunks, right? Also, like, wait, what? We only see the chunks and nothing happening. So when we click summarize, it's gonna go and loop over the chunks, and now it's going to go and say chunk summaries, and then we have one chunk, and then a second chunk. There's another string here, all the way here. We have another chunk here, all the way here, I think, and then one more all the way here. So we got all the summaries inside of this chunk summaries list. So we're good with this. Wait, what happened here? Skip that there. Actually here, let's just say, in case there's an error, we can say, for us, let's say, error summarizing chunks. And we can say the same thing for the user. So we can copy this down. Instead of printing, we can say, let's see that error. And we can just say some error summarizing chunks. And then we can do st.stop to make sure we don't go any further than that if there's an error in there. Cool. I think that is, we can also pass the E in here, because this could be seen by other developers. So we share that. Wait, what? No, that doesn't supposed to be there. So let's do, cut this out. E in here. There you go. Cool. Now we see everything here on the print and on the UI. All right, so the final step that we need to do is to create the final summary. And the final summary, we're gonna do it right after this here. So after we summarize, when the user clicks on summarize, we're gonna say summarizing chunks. So we can give the user that feedback. And then after this section here, so we're gonna go here. Here we're gonna do the final step. There's gonna be final summary in here. So we're gonna start with another with st-spinner. And then we're going to say creating final summary. And then ... And then here, we're gonna do another try. Except as E. Let's print E for now. And then let's go inside here. And here, let's see, we have this list of different summaries. So we want to kind of like combine everything, and we're going to send another API request with a new prompt, and we're gonna need another chain. So here, we're going to combine all summaries. So we're gonna say combine underscore summaries. We're gonna set that equals to, we're just gonna have a quotes \n for a new line, and then we can call the .join method, and then we can just pass the chunk summaries in here. So we combine all the chunk summaries into this one string. And then we're going to create the final summary prompt. So let's call it final prompt. Set that equals to ChatPromptTemplate dot from template from underscore template. And here, let's have another prompt here that we can use. And just pause the video, type it out, use the links in the video description to go into the file if you want to just copy it from there. And here we're saying you are an expert summarizer tasked with creating a final summary from summarized chunks, right? So we're giving some context. Hey, these are chunks of, some text. Now combine the key points from the provided summaries into a cohesive and comprehensive summary. The final summary should be concise but detailed enough to capture the main ideas. 2 new lines, and then we pass the combine. We're going to pass the combined dot summaries into this document placeholder variable that we have here. So now that we have the prompt, we can create a new chain. Let's call it final chain equals, we're going to call it our final prompt, and then pipe to LLM, pipe to parser. Cool. So now we're going to say final underscore summary. We're going to set that equals to final chain dot invoke. And then we're going to pass the dictionary, and then we need to pass to document. So this variable here, document, we're going to pass our combined summaries in here. Cool. So now we could just print it out, and also we need to render that to the screen. Okay. Is this fine? No. Error syntax, spinner creating final summary. With spinner, looks like I got a typo here somewhere. Try. So with spinner, syntax error expected is there. Oh, it's not saved. I haven't saved the file. Looks like I haven't saved the file. Oh, it's rerun. Okay. My mistake. I didn't save my file. So now that we have this final summary, we could print it, right? Say final summary, and then pass final underscore summary. Come on. What's going on here now? Oh, I need to put this. Okay, my bad. There you go. We can do that, and also we need to render that to the user here. So let's create a variable. Let's just have it at the top here where we have the chunk summaries. Let's have a container or an empty container. Container equals, we're going to use st.empty to create an empty container so we can fill it in with the final summary down here. So we're going to say container dot write, and we're going to pass the final summary so we can also see it in the UI. And let's see, what else do we need? Let's have in here, let's say error creating final summary. Copy that down. And let's also do st.error. And here we need to do an f string. And then we need to put that in here. Like so. Cool. Let's keep it there. All right, we got our error handling here, and we are good to try this out. So let's go and browse files and grab our text file. So give it a second, file uploaded. That means we got our chunks and everything. Now we can click summarize. It says summarize in chunks, and then we get our final summary here. As you can see, is just the text here. We could have the prompt to kind of like say, kind of like giving an example how we want to display it. If we wanted to have like a title or some header that would say final summary or something like that, we could work with the prompt here. But basically, this will create your final summary, and it will display it now on the UI. You can also see it in the console log. Here, final summary, and we're good to go. Now, this would basically conclude the whole entire process of loading up the document, creating chunks of the document, summarizing the chunks, grabbing the chunks, combining them, and creating a final summary. Now, we haven't tested with any other file. You can test it out with a CSV file or PDF file. And I want to do a quick test with this PDF file. So I do have a PDF file that was provided in the documentation somewhere, and is some Nike PDF file. I'm gonna make sure I provide the link so you can download the PDF file and you can test it out with the same PDF file. But here we're gonna have a little problem as we test this out. So not a big problem, but it's just that we need to make sure we're using a LLM that has enough, that can handle enough tokens in order to summarize the uploaded file. So maybe this would not be enough to upload the PDF file. So I'm gonna try to summarize it with this. So if I go and click here, browse here, and then I'm going to select this Nike 10K 2023 PDF file. Click it, it gets uploaded, is processing it. It's gonna take longer because this is a way bigger file than that text file. So we see the processing in there, takes a little while, which is okay for now. This is a prototype. We don't need to worry about the user getting bored while looking at the spinner. But in another app, you might want to take them to like another page and say that you know, the file will be ready in another minute or two. But basically here we have the PDF uploaded, right? Now, this already created the chunks. If we look in here, we have this application PDF file type, and then the path is the Nike file. We see the Nike file here. Now we're gonna see the chunks too, right? Because we already created the chunks. So if I try to find, here's the document. I think this is the whole entire document. And then the chunks could be all the way at the bottom. Let's see if we can read this. There's a document here. There might be another document somewhere around here. Very hard to see, but there is, should be. Let's see if I can find another one. Page content, this one here. This one's really hard to see because there's so much text. Here's another page 4. So it says page 4, page 1, page 4 around here. It looks like it's 5 pages long. Page 5 in here. These are the chunks that we created. Cool. So now if I click summarize and wait, we might be successful. We might get an error because we got to do some research. We got to know if this model, how many tokens it can, was the size of the context window. And right now it says processing. Where's this says processing again? Okay. Let's wait anyways, see what happens. Okay, summarizing chunks. So now with the chunks is fine, right? Because now we kind of like have chunks, smaller chunks. We're not passing the whole entire 4 or 5 pages long document. We're just passing the chunks that we're creating, which they are like 1,000 characters each. And we're summarizing each chunk. So we're making multiple API calls to summarize each chunk. Doesn't matter if it's 5 pages long. It's just going to do that there. It's going to sit there, summarize the chunks. Now the chunks are going to be summarized and put into that summaries, that list that we created up here. This chunk summaries, and then we're going to create a final summary. And it's still summarizing the chunks. So we're going to wait here. We're going to sit here and wait a little bit more so we can see if we're successful summarizing this 5 pages long, 2.3 megabyte file in here. And if it's a PDF file, so we're trying another type of file, bigger file, making multiple API calls to summarize this chunk, and still sitting there. Come on, you can make it. Come on. Looks like I'm gonna have to pause the video. I don't want to sit here too long. Keep you here. All right, let me pause the video, see what happens here. All right, so finally it gave me back an error. So we see an error here. Error summarizing chunks, right? Here we got our error. It says rate limit reach for model mix trial in organization, blah, blah, blah. So we have a free tier. Token limit is 5,000, and we use all the way up to 4,927. And we basically run out of tokens. So this is something we have to kind of like be careful, do our research, and see how many tokens we can send over. And in here, we have different models that we can try out. But also the free tier might be a little smaller. So on the rate limit that we can use. So in order to see the complete summary of the PDF, I'm going to go all the way up here and change my LLM to the OpenAI and save it. So this one I have this one will pay for it. So this one I have already my billing set up and everything. So I'm going to refresh the app in here, bring this back in here, and then I'm going to try to summarize the same PDF file using OpenAI. And let me bring this here, PDF, go ahead and summarize now. Processing. And let's see if now is going to work. Give it another few seconds here. All right, that was a little slow in there, but now it gave me the file was uploaded. It took a little bit longer. My computer might be running a little slow, but I was trying to summarize all the chunks that we created. And now we're waiting again to see if we can actually get the final summary. I'm gonna try to keep it in here. You can fast forward if you want to. I want to see if I'm able to show you when it says summarizing or creating final summary, whatever we wrote in here somewhere. We said creating final summary. And let's see. Come on. All right, I waited a little bit longer there, and it looks like still kind of like stuck in there. So here's something I want to do. Let's go and let's stop this terminal in here real quick. And I'm going to go also inside of the file here. Let's go and kind of like print some more information about the summary that we're doing. So still stopping. I don't know if it's my terminal, my app is running pretty slow. But anyways, I'm going to stop it in here. If it works for you, fine. Just stay here until the last section of the video where we're going to add a download button really quick. So in here, I just want to go, let's go into, not there, but here, where we're summarizing the chunks. So in here, let's say I, comma, chunk in enumerate in here, and let's pass the chunks here so we can grab some information about the chunks in here and kind of like print some more information. Let's say print f string, and let's do processing chunk, and let's display it in here. Let's do I plus 1, and then / and then do length of chunks, and we need curly brackets around here for that. So I want to see like the first chunk, processing the first chunk, and then the length, so that way I see some more information. I want to see what chunk in the first one, second one. Let's save that. Let me see if I can stop the terminal. And it looks like this is stuck somewhere in here. Let me open a new terminal. Close this previous one. Kill that one. Wait for this one. Okay. Come on. Yeah, I think is again my computer is running a little slow. Let's see. All right, let's run Streamlit. Run app.py again. Let's run the server. Okay, browse document here. PDF. I'm using OpenAI again in here, so I can see if I can get a successful. Oh, come on, look at this processing. So slow. Running, okay. Give it another second. All right, so we got our chunks here. I think my computer is definitely running slow. So now that we have the chunks in here, let's just do summarize and see if we can see some information about the chunks. Why is this processing again? Okay. Let's wait. Okay, it's 107 chunks. Okay, so it says 1, 2. So that is why it's taking so long, right? You gotta do 107 chunks. So I picked a really, I mean, that PDF was in the LangChain documentation, so that's why I used that one, so I can to replicate the same thing and show you that, but this is gonna take a little bit, right? So I'm going to just pause this here, try to get to the end, and then I will continue with the video. All right, we got 107 out of 107. That's a huge amount of chunks. We're creating the final summary in here now. Finally, let's see. You can try that with Groq if you can, but oh, there we go. Fine, there we go. Beautiful. Open this up a bit. We have a comprehensive summary. So even right now with OpenAI, we got a nice title here, and then we have all the information that we need in here in order to kind of like show the user. Also, what I want as the last thing we're gonna do here, I promise, I just want you to be able to kind of like download this as well. So now that we actually tested with a really large file in here, it took a while, but we did it. Let's go into in here right after the final summary here, and we're going to do a download file button, download file. Let's do an std.download down. Come on. Download button in here. And let's pass some information in here. So we're going to put a label to this button. It's just going to say download final summary. Let's pass the data. So equals to the final summary. Then we want a file underscore name, and let's pass let's say final. Let's just do final underscore summary, but here you can build a string with the maybe based on the title or something from the actual final summary, and then we can do like dash the name of the file from the import that we did at the top. But right now I'm just gonna do that hard-coded file name, so I don't take too long in here. And then the type or the meme type in here, we're gonna say let's do text dash plain, just to download as text, just regular text file in here. Go ahead and save that. Click on always rerun at the top if you refresh your page earlier. I'm going to stop this in here. I'm going to refresh really quick because I just want to upload the text file instead of the PDF. So we can just try this out. So in here, we're going to upload that text file. It's going to load it up again. We're going to click summarize. Summarizing, and then let's see all the way at the end, all the way after it shows the summary, we should have a button summarizing chunks, creating final summary. Way faster with that small text file, but I think my computer is also running mad slow. We get the summary in here, we can see, and we have this download final summary button that we can now click, and it would download it to your computer in here. I think we need to put the .txt in here because I think I didn't put that, and it gave me a random file type in there. But just make that update in there, and you can keep that in there and customize it, or this is just optional just to make it a little bit more user-friendly. And that's it. Let's just go back and see everything that we talked about inside of this app as a final summary. So in this app, we use a document loader. So we actually use 3 different ones: the text loader, PDF loader, and CSV loaders. This allows us to load these type of files. There's a lot more type of files, For HTML files, there's loaders for any type of data that you're looking for. And just go back to the documentation. I will leave those links in the video description. We use a text splitter. We use the character text splitter to split the with the single document that gets uploaded into smaller documents or chunks. We have our two LLMs from Chatbot and OpenAI. We have the ChatPromptTemplate, which allows us to create the prompt template so we can pass the documents or the chunks and use the prompt for to be able to reuse it with every chunks. And then we have our output parser, which is going to just give us the result text from the model or the generated text instead of having us going to dive into the results and find where the response is inside of the dictionary. So the powerful thing here is the syntax, how you can create chains. So you can create multiple chains inside of your applications for handling different tasks. We did the test chain in here. We did a chain for the summarizing the chunks, which is this chain here. And then we did a final chain for using the final prompt and summarizing, creating the final summary in here. So with these components, you can build basically, a lot of different types of applications that can handle different tasks for different purposes. And in the next video, we're going to keep reusing these type of files to later on allow the user to interact directly with the files, or maybe build some agents using some other components as well. So I'm going to create a couple of more videos so we can keep learning some more components about LangChain and be ready for creating any type of application, either using Streamlit, other Python library, or a React application as well. So I hope you like this one. I will see you in the next one. Thank you again.